Hey guys, Tbull here. Today we got a game in the Normandy. You can see there we got the ship build. Normally I put the character build first, but I wanted to focus on the slot 2 perk with Dunkirk. It's going to come into play a couple times in this game. So that's the base trait, reduce the flooding damage. Here's the more interesting one. Shell switch time, negative 95%. That means at level 12 legendary 2, we can switch from AP to HE or vice versa in 1 second, assuming all the guns are loaded. So a lot of times people ask me about the Azur Lane commanders. Are they going to come back? I have no idea. They don't tell me anything like that. But last summer, they released all the previously available commanders as part of the anniversary of the full release of the game. So we got the year 1 Halloween commanders, and the first batch of Azur Lane commanders were available again. So if that happens again this year, and it would probably be, I can't remember when it was, within the next couple months, assuming they do a similar sale, then this one would be available. And this one took me a while to level it up. I don't like to, I had a lot of points in JoJo, and I don't like to put a lot of points into the same line, another French battleship commander, for instance, until I got the rest of my navy fleshed out. So it took me a while to get points into this one. Now that I have, I would say it's arguably the strongest commander in the game. It's definitely top 5, give or take. So keep an eye out for that. I know a lot of you guys don't have this one. You might be rolling your eyes like, why do we care? You should always be aware of what's possible for your enemies. So we're going to point out the 2 or 3 times in this game where that comes into play. Anyway, here we got a game on the map, Greece. Now we had 2 destroyers spawn over here. One of them's going off into Timbuktu. You can count that guy out. I mean, if that's the deployment as the destroyer, okay, we don't worry about what you're doing. Gnievy pops the smoke. Appreciate the effort, but if you got a battleship behind you, as soon as I fire the guns, my smoke fire penalty activates. That means, instead of my normal full range detection, maybe I get like a kilometer or 2 off because I'm in the smoke. But in essence, if I'm shooting at something, it can probably spot me back. So kind of a wasted smoke there. I do appreciate the destroyers trying to smoke up the teammates. Normally, I wouldn't recommend doing that just because your teammates usually won't recognize the opportunity to use it. But if you are going to try and do it, and you're not in the division, of course, go ahead and try it with the cruisers. Because if you smoke up a friendly cruiser and they have the awareness to actually utilize that smoke, then it can be a quite strong play. You can also consider laying down the smoke to help your team bridge a gap that's kind of in an open area that they'll be spotted through. But again, when you're playing with randoms who most of them don't do anything except for buff their Dewey, I wouldn't waste your time. Anyway, the deployment, look at our team, they're all going west. Now that's good for us because we got good separation here. As battleship players, we want to create separation, and since they're all going over there, there's some sort of black hole sucking them all in. Luckily, we're just out of range of that gravitational reach. We can avoid going over there. That gives us opportunities to attack ships. Now, why are we pinging the Monahan like a madman? A lot of people always comment on my videos, you ping too much, you're annoying, whatever. Look how many ships over there can shoot the Monahan. All of them. You understand that? How many of them are doing it? None of them. Okay, so I don't mind annoying my teammates. If they're not going to shoot that destroyer, that annoys me, because if you don't shoot destroyers, you lose games. Ping the destroyers if you see them. Sometimes your teammates will be jostled from whatever they're focusing on. Usually they're just looking down the binoculars, shooting at the angled battleship parked on the moon that they can't do any damage to anyways. But you can see there at least one of them is chiming in with a gun. So we're going to keep shooting at them because, of course, the killing the destroyers is the most important thing you can do in this game. And, of course, we're going to focus on that. So I encourage, if you don't want to ping them 3-4 times like I do until it says thou shalt not ping anymore, fine. But ping them once because it's a strong play. And your teammates need to be aware of that. But I don't apologize for annoying people with my communication any more than they don't apologize to me for throwing the game all the time. Anyways, we got heavy damage on him. Now, look at what happened here. We flipped their home cap, D. They spawned with D, we spawned with C in control. They abandoned D, and the Gnievy, who we were talking about earlier, he had the awareness to notice that that cap was uncontested. Goes ahead and flips it. That's a strong play. So now we got 2 caps. We've removed their, built-in source of income. And they got the B cap, of course, and there goes the Monahan. But that's fine. We got 2 caps. We're on the verge of getting 3 because they got kind of a similar black hole strategy going on back there. A lot of kind of goofy, clumped up positional play by both teams this game, at least to start with. Not that profitable, but we're going to go ahead and try and take advantage of it. But Gnevi, great play there. I would go back, maybe once you've captured D, try and get onto B, see if you can get all 4 caps under control. But he's going to go back in there and probably go into the suicide torp rush mode. And you can see I've lost track of our other destroyer, that Fubuki. I think he's just now making his way to D. So he hasn't done anything in the first 5 minutes. Probably not the strongest play, going all the way to the east and then down. So luckily we happen to be turning there, dodge that torp. Salvo, it's going to be from a T61 who's actually moving aggressively. I think he's the one who captured B, and he's actually going to go into C. And so we're going to have to deal with him. This is going to be one of those games where at the end of the game we're going to get, I don't know, 60, 70k damage. And for a battleship, a lot of players will be like, well, that's not a very good game at all. It's going to be a 3000k game, and it's due to the targets that we're shooting at. Destroyer, destroyer, destroyer. Yeah, we've hit a cruiser or 2 with a decent whack here and there, but we're shooting the destroyers. The destroyers are far more valuable in terms of XP and in terms of value for your team, because of course they're responsible for capturing bases, adding points to their team's lead, spotting, killing all the destroyers. They're the most valuable pieces in the game, and carriers haven't changed that either. So Miyoko coming back there, we get him with a pretty decent shot in the broadside, but here we got the destroyer popping up there. Now we're on the reload, and we're considering, okay, how do we deal with this? We got the planes dropping us as well, but tier 5 planes don't tend to be that dangerous. So here's going to be the first instance, I think, where we're going to see this thing. Now, if you have this commander, you got to make sure you get all the guns reloaded, because if you have like 2 guns reloaded and the other one's still catching up and you try and switch your shells, then it starts to reload from scratch. But you can see that we actually went from AP fully loaded. Now we got the HE loaded, and T61, we got some nice ordnance on him. Take him down for about a third of his health, reset the base there. So nice scoring play. And now we're moving in. Yeah, we're still getting dropped, but you can see there's no damage coming in. Turn back in towards that destroyer, because of course we can expect torpedoes coming our way. And there's the first batch there. This is a common play for destroyers that we talk about a lot. You're on the base, you're threatened. The mentality is, I'm on the base, I have to capture this. And I don't criticize destroyers for trying to capture bases. Of course, that's one of the main things we preach about on this channel all the time. But the caveat is, if you're getting pushed, and especially if you've launched your torpedo salvo like we just saw there, yes, the T61 is a quick reload time on its torps, but when the battleship's basically free from your threat because you don't have the torpedoes loaded, and he's pushing in tier 5 or lower, if he gets within 2 kilometers, proxy spot, you're in the smoke, doesn't matter. Tier 6 and up, you got to assume it's within 3 kilometers. If they get within 3 kilometers of you, they can see you. And that's due to the slot 3 mod that they have, the RGA acquisition, range of guaranteed acquisition, I think is what it's called. Anyway, we can expect more torps here. As soon as we launch them, he was launched on the indicator, slamming the brakes, turn around, and boom, down he goes, and we dodge the torps there. So, pretty effective play on our end, just kind of anticipating what most destroyer players are going to do. Launch on the indicator, sit in the smoke, try and capture the base, and down he goes. So we got a lot of resets, we got a lot of destroyer damage on the sequence, and we've taken out 2 of the 3 destroyers, and we also whacked the Akatsuki earlier. So Miyoko's beached on the island there. I think he's letting his crew off as they recognize that their time on Earth is soon to end, and boom, down they go. And you can see here, now we've taken a massive ship lead as well, but the 3 caps to 1. This game is kind of a beatdown. Akatsuki does come back here, and now we do have the AP loaded. We're going to do the same play. Go ahead and use that switcher over to the HE. Line up the shot 3 times the 4.23 is about 15 clicks away, 14 clicks away. Line that up and whack him pretty hard, and his health is completely evaporated with that HE salvo coming in on. So again, not a lot of damage this game in terms of, battleships. You can look at it, okay, we did our ship's damage, 48,000, paved our way into the game. We've almost, we got about 1 2/3 of our ship's HP and damage. That's pretty good, it's not bad. But again, the score is going to be run up on this game. That's from the resets, that's shooting the destroyers. How the XP works for ships is it's a percentage of the ship's total HP. So if I do 5,000 damage on a 50,000 damage battleship, that's 10% of their health. If I do 5,000 damage on a 10,000 HP destroyer, that's half their health. Okay, so we're getting the percentage in terms of the XP awarded based on their ship's HP. So Another reason to shoot destroyers if you're grinding the lines or you're going for big scores on the scoreboard. Destroyer is far more valuable than battleships, which are usually not that consequential in the long run. So, certainly some battleships in certain positions can have huge effects, but destroyer is always going to be your primary target. So that's a look at the Normandy for you guys. Hopefully you did enjoy it. If you did, hit the thumbs up. New to the channel, consider subscribing. We got lots of World of Warships coming all the time. Questions, comments, leave them below. Love to hear from you, and we'll see y'all later. Peace!